Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to 2023. It's a new year, new Mei. That's what it is. New year, new Mei. That's right, I have decided to finally put all of my eggs into this basket and finally main Mei in Overwatch 2. So why am I going to be going whole, 100% on this character? Well, for one thing, what you'll see in this content moving forward is that Mei as a character is such a great utility in terms of team benefits. She is such a great character when it comes to essentially providing a lot of resource, and by resource I'm talking about things like defense. Defense in this game of Overwatch 2 is so pivotal to shifting momentum in the game of Overwatch, and in Overwatch 2 being a 5v5 format, Mei is actually surprisingly good when she plays very close to the tank, because she herself is kind of like a mini tank where she's able to sustain herself via her ice block. She's able to basically block off a line of sight with her ice wall, and her blizzard is really great for both denying entry or denying area, but most importantly isolating enemies and taking them out. That also can be said for ice wall too, which we'll see as well. So Mei as a character is super versatile in that while she is a defensive character by nature, she is essentially, I'm gonna turn the volume down here, she's essentially a character that really benefits from a gameplay style that is more defensive. So we're gonna go into more detail, and we're gonna make this like a kind of a three-part series, not a three-part series, but like a breakdown in one video. So we're gonna kick things off with the first thing, and that is her actual kit and just defensive playstyle. So we'll see in that, for one thing, you can see here that I'm playing alongside the tank, like very consistently. Like wherever the tank is, I'm trying my best to play around that tank as close as I possibly can. So right now Zarya is over in the right hand side taking care of Diva. So I'm trying my best to like focus my attention on the Lucio and of course the Hanzo, which is up here. And that's because, we don't want this to become a threat. So I'm trying my best to protect the tank on an angle, but stay close enough to where I can isolate an enemy if they actually fall out of position. And this is where Mei can shine as a character. She's really all about defense, and her defense is what really creates the offense, if that makes any sense. Like her greatest asset to a team is her defensive kit, which can then therefore create offensive assaults moving forward. So what you want to do as Mei, and I think this is an issue for a lot of players too, is they want to play Mei as if they're playing like a flanker. Like they want to flank, they want to go into the back line, they want to essentially kill as many enemies as possible, and that really isn't necessarily the way you play Mei. Now granted, getting kills or eliminations is always important, but one thing to really truly understand with Mei is that she's not about racking up a ton of kills. She's really all about protecting not only herself but her team. She's a really team-driven character, and like I said, her ice wall, her ice block for her own defensive, healing, and then her blizzard. These are all defensive kind of. They're all defensive utility weapons, right? They're a part of her kit that make her feel more defensive. And so players who think that, oh, well, she lacks mobility, so therefore she's bad. No, she lacks mobility because she's not supposed to be in the back line flanking like a Genji or flanking like a Tracer would. Those are characters that have their mobility for a good reason. Their responsibility for the team is to disrupt the backline, is to flank and get damage. But Mei, she wants to be as close as possible to her team to therefore get the most results possible, right? You want to see, look at where I am in relation to the tank, right? I'm always trying my best to be near the action, right? And that's really what it's all about. Like you want to basically ensure that you are constantly isolating enemies, right? So I block off the staircase to prevent the Diva from going upstairs and getting high ground. And so right here, again, I'm trying my best to just pressure the tank and I'm always with Zarya. And so right here, I get hit right here. I don't know why she didn't die. Honestly, she's like 1 HP and she didn't get killed. But the whole point is that you want to try your best as a Mei main to really look at the positioning of your teammates and how you can be of assistance to them. This isn't necessarily, again, this isn't about you finding off angles and trying to, you know, put yourself in a position to get flanked. This is a position where you want to be as close to your team as possible to see where they are, and most importantly, to be close enough to the tank to where you can then isolate the other tank or any other enemy on the opposing side to therefore benefit and use your ice wall and block off whatever threat is in front of you. So right here, like this is a perfect example of like making sure to block off. Like if I had my ice wall, I have it right here by the way, but if I had the reaction time to realize, oh, okay, D.Va is literally on her own right here, I could easily have put a wall up right to this side here, and that would have blocked off any potential healing and therefore given us a chance to just completely annihilate this enemy D.Va. So this is where Mei shines insanely well. And so in this meta, I think a lot of people just sleep on Mei because they think that, oh, well, she's slow and she doesn't have much utility in terms of like, I don't know, killing. But again, it's all about making smart plays. Smart plays get you wins, not getting all this damage. I think a lot of players, they get so fascinated and so caught up in their damage numbers, but it's not about your damage at the end of the day. It's about how much utility, how much you can really help the team out to ensure the victory. It's all about having the right defense, which then turns into offense, which then turns into a win. So making smart plays versus making these, you know, over the top flashy plays, that's not what Mei is. Mei is a character that's pretty, you know, again, she's defensive at her core, but she can turn the momentum into your favor when you utilize her correctly. So right here, I made the error. I tried to block off the D.Va ult for my team. I took the L because I wasn't fast enough to get into the corner. But I want to see actually what the angle was. I want to see if I can actually see from the top above how she actually hit us. Let's see. So she came through here. Okay. Let's see how she actually came through. So she came through. Yeah, all right, so at this point, she had her ult. Yeah, okay, so basically what I tried to do here, again, this is why Mei is so important on teams, is I'm trying my best to prevent the D.Va bomb from blowing up and killing the rest of my team. So I took an L. I took an L for my team, but Zenyatta saved. Ana's behind the payload, so she doesn't get hit. And then, of course, Zenyatta goes for his Q at the right time, too. So that also was a very defensive play for us. So while I died, it still kept my supports alive, which is good. And it was still able to move the payload forward just a little bit. So this is also really, really vital. And then, of course, Ashe is right there. Ashe is probably not in the best position, I'll be honest with you, just because D.Va's right there. And, you know, Ashe versus D.Va, there's not much Ashe can do. But the point is that being able to focus and have your attention solely on protecting your team at all costs is what really makes Mei shine. And of course, as you already know, her left click is so powerful in that she can slow enemies down. So once you isolate people, it's easier for you to just take them out and not have to worry about them. So let's fast forward a little bit here. We're gonna go back here into the action, and I'll go back to me. So right here, D.Va's out of her mech. I go for the kill here. I ping. And pinging with Mei, I think, is really important. Although I'll say this right now, pinging in general is always a positive thing. You should always be pinging where enemies are, so that way your team can therefore focus the enemy if they're out of position. But I think with Mei, it's even more important because when you do isolate an enemy or enemies, you want to make sure you're pinging to your team that you're isolating somebody, and therefore they can all focus on that enemy and take them out as quickly as possible. Especially tanks. Like if you're able to isolate a tank and just cut them off from the rest of the team, you need to be able, as a Mei player, to communicate that and say, hey guys, I've focused, I've isolated, take them out, move on. Because once you isolate a tank, it's so easy to shift the momentum and go on the offense. And that's, again, where Mei shines a lot. So right here, I just go for my ice block here. I was a little bit afraid of taking some damage. I get the knock here on the Lucio. So I put up my ice wall here because I saw that the opposing enemy, Cassidy, was using his ult. So instead of trying to, you know, risk taking damage, I use the ice wall. He cancels his ult, which is good for us, and therefore I knocked the wall down. Right here, I see this perhaps wasn't the best choice for me to peek this wall, knowing that D.Va was there, but I wanted to get some damage on her. But I go back, reposition, and right here, so you can see, again, I'm trying my best, as always, to really remain side by side with Zarya at all times, right? Wherever Zarya goes, I try my best to stay with her, because like I said earlier in the video, you really want to ensure that Mei is positioned in a way that gives the tank more opportunity to utilize their kit in their best way. Mei really wants to act as like a second tank, if you will, because she has like tank-esque capabilities. Again, she has a wall. A wall is very defensive. So think of a wall as like extra HP. Think of it like a Reinhardt shield, or let's say a Sigma shield. You're putting up your wall, even though the wall got nerfed, it's still an additional, you know, HP wall that the enemy has to break down. So when you're able to utilize that, you're essentially you're like an essential, you know, mini tank that you can use to help your team push forward. You know, you can help your team heal. So let's say, for example, my team was being pressured here for whatever reason. You know, we're obviously in a fight now, and look at our position. Like, we're all staying together, and that's a good thing. None of us are really far apart. No one's gonna get picked off, and so we're all trying our best to push in. Now, this soldier right here is a little bit off position, so we could have easily isolated him and taken him out. But right here, the whole point is that you move where your tank is going, because you want to support your tank as much as possible to therefore isolate and then take control. So we're gonna keep going from here. So again, I'm backing up. See, I'm trying to mirror what my tank is doing here. I'm mirroring as much as I possibly can. So I'm gonna move in here, move in a little bit here. So I'm trying to mirror whatever my tank is doing, so therefore I can see everything that's happening on the front line, because I don't want to be too far back where I'm just kind of like doing nothing. I want to be just up front enough where I can see exactly what's taking place, and therefore I can say, okay, D.Va's here, Lucio's here. So the pattern I've been picking up with this particular team is that the Lucio and D.Va have always been together. It's almost like they're just, you know, like twins stuck together, you know? So my mind was like, all right, if they make a mistake again and they go out of position, I'm going to freeze them, and I'm going to make sure that Zarya gets the most benefit. So here, I'm trying my best to fight them. They split up here. We go in. So now Ashe takes an angle, right? She takes an angle. She has a fresh angle on D.Va. D.Va right here is isolated, and this is exactly what happens. So see, I put a wall up because the D.Va wanted to essentially run off, right? So I put something here. I put a wall here, right, to block off her escape, and therefore she has to now fight us where she is, and she's by herself. So look where everyone else is. Everyone else is to the left. Soldier's back there. You've got, you know, Kiriko there, right? The whole team is spread out. So I'm trying my best to essentially provide coverage, and I go for my Blizzard here. So I drop my Blizzard. I die. However, the benefit of this is that I'm still able to provide utility. So while I died here, I was still able to get utility and get a death. So D.Va's gone, Soldier's gone, everyone's gone now, right? So that's a positive right there. And here we go again. So Soldier was right there. I'm getting chased here by the D.Va. I try to block her off. I get killed there because I was off. I was a little bit, you know, away from my team. I should have been with my Zarya there, so that was a misplay on my part. But I wanted to try and create a little bit of space, allow my team to push forward. So I see the Soldier there behind. He's attacking the backline, so I'm going to try and get him. So he's gone. D.Va's back here too. So I have my wall. that she runs off, which is totally fine because we're still moving forward toward the end goal. So this, honestly, I probably shouldn't have done this. This was like maybe a slight misplay. I didn't want to be challenging the opponent too much, but I fought this guy in several games before, and I knew his playstyle, so I wanted to challenge him 1v1. Because with me, I can still 1v1 duel a Cassidy from this range with my right click, and so it's totally fine. Because if I get shot, I can always just go into my shift, or I can put up a wall if I feel scared. So it's not that big of an issue. So I reposition. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I'll let Zarya come into the front here. And so D.Va, look at D.Va. So D.Va right now, again, she is by herself, right? She's by herself once again. And this is where we have to capitalize. So look at her team. The rest of her team is all the way in the back. Mercy is literally in the back, not even paying attention. She's trying to heal, I'm imagining the Cassidy here, and then Kiriko's at the back. So we have literally an advantage right here with regards to isolating the target. And this is exactly where, again, Mei shines as a character. She wants to be picking off this enemy tank and making sure that that tank learns their lesson not to do whatever they did again. So here we go. So I block it off, right? I immediately block off the D.Va, and look, we get the kill for that. So as I said, you want to make sure that that tank is getting the most value out of their buck, and Zarya got the most value there. Getting the kill on the tank is it's super essential here. So I paused for a second. Of course, I was being pressured. Mercy was low. I have my ult here, but unfortunately, you'll see that D.Va unfortunately sucked it up later on. But we're getting close to the end here, and you can see that again, I'm staying right behind my tank at all times. I block off the exit, so in case, let's say, Kiriko wanted to run off for whatever reason, I blocked off that pathway. So therefore, if D.Va wanted to come through there, or anyone else, when they respawn, they're blocked off. So now Kiriko goes for her ult, I go for my ult. D.Va, I think D.Va, I don't think it was like intentional. I think D.Va just had it right there for whatever reason, and she's lucky to get it. But her defense matrix sucked up my ult. So at the end of the day, we didn't get any value there, but we still won, which was really good. And so Bob was there to take people off of the payload. So right then and there, again, just kind of giving you a perspective on why Mei is really, really solid right now. And so I want to kind of wrap things up because it's been 17 minutes. So basically, I want to just point out 3 things. So A, Mei is a defensive tank, right? Mei is a defensive character. She's not supposed to be someone who is very offensive driven. It's her defense that then translates into offense when you play her correctly by utilizing her ice wall, her ice block, and then her blizzard to again isolate enemies and take them out swiftly. 2, she is all about being a DPS that is all about isolation. So she's all about pointing out enemy weaknesses. She's all about being the eyes, basically, she's like the extra eyes for the team. She's the extra eyes for the tank. And so therefore, when you are playing with your tank, you keep an eye on what enemies are out of position, what enemies are trying to snipe you, because then therefore you can use your ice wall to block off, let's say, snipers line of sight. You can block off enemy pressure from the left or the right. And again, like I said, if you want to isolate enemies in front of you because they're out of position, you can therefore use your wall to get the most value there. And then lastly, she is a team-driven character. She's not a character that wants to be on her own. She wants to be with her team at all times. She doesn't want to be too far behind where she can't get angles, but she doesn't want to be too up close where she can't really get, can't get away if she's being pressured. So all that being said, hopefully this video has given you some insight as to why I'm maining Mei now versus before. My main, like my original main initially was Junkrat, and I think he shares some value in terms of his capabilities to, deny entry. He's a zoner, essentially. He's a zoner with projectiles. But I think with Mei, she's really all about defending and using that defense to create offense. So hopefully that's given you a fresh look and some in-depth analysis as to why I've chosen this character. So if you want to see more Mei content on the channel, you want to see more breakdowns, more guides for Overwatch 2, then be sure to like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below as to what you want to see next. And until next time, take care, folks. Enjoy 2023, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.